Have you ever eaten so much that you swore that the button of your pants was gonna pop and you felt like a flea about to burst? That if you move just a single muscle, you won't be able to stop projectile vomiting your 4-course meal over the whole table? Think about the last time you felt that way. Was it because you had a tough day at work thanks to your disgruntled boss? Or was it because you were so focused on studying for your exams and were hell-bent on at least passing them that it left you sleepless? Whatever it is that caused your overeating session, don't sweat it. We've all been there and done that. Indulging yourself in food is okay every once in a while because if we all know anything, is that food is a warm hug that brings us comfort. But the problem lies when we start doing this constantly and subconsciously. It looks like something like ordering one more box of nuggets at McDonald's just because you feel like ordering one, or ordering dessert even if you're already full just because you're craving it and you know it's your favorite. So why not? Does the previous scenarios ring a bell? If it does, then stick around because today's video is going to answer the one big question: why do I eat double the food I need? To start off, let's first find out why you overeat. On the surface level, we sometimes overeat just out of habit, like when we have a big bag of chips when we're watching a movie, even if we're not really hungry, or when we choose to munch on different snacks whenever we're studying just so that we wouldn't fall asleep. But if we were to dig a little deeper, another reason for someone to overeat is that they may have emotional problems. A huge factor for this is a person's negative body image on themselves. Compulsive overeating typically stems from a restrictive diet and is part of the eat, repent, repeat cycle as stated by Michelle May, a physician and the author of Eat What You Love, Love What You Eat. The cycle usually starts when you decide to go on a diet because you feel unhappy about the way you look. But then you find out this diet is hard to keep up with because you use food as your coping mechanism. You eventually reach your breaking point after that and you start gorging on bad food again. Shame and guilt plague you, and then the restrictions and the cycle begin once more. It's a whole ordeal that can be difficult to break once you're in the deep. But if we're to lean over onto the medical side, compulsive eating may also be the result of biological factors like your sex, genes, and hormones. This is because compulsive overeating may be linked with type 1 diabetic patients, people with close relatives who have an eating disorder or a mental health condition, or people who have a history of dieting. Compulsive overeating is a complicated behavior that can be indicative of an eating disorder. There is a possibility that compulsive overeaters may be dealing with either bulimia nervosa or binge eating disorder. Now, what's the difference between the two of them? Let's start off with binge eating disorder, or BED. People with BED usually feel like they can't stop themselves from consuming an unhealthy large amount of food. Usually, most people with BED are overweight or obese, but you may also have BED even if you have a normal weight. Some behavioral and emotional signs and symptoms you ought to look out for include eating unusually huge meal portions within a certain time frame, say eating a huge meal within 2 hours, feeling like you have no control over your eating behaviors, eating even if you're not feeling hungry, not stopping from eating until you're uncomfortably full, eating at a fast pace whenever you're eating, feeling guilty, shameful, lonely, and depressed after eating, and going on diets and not losing weight. Studies have shown that it's more common for women to have binge eating disorders than men. This can happen at any age, but it often starts during someone's late teenage years to the early 20s. Other factors that can also up your chance of developing BED include your family history, your history with dieting, as well as psychological issues such as low self-esteem and poor body self-image. People who have BED may develop physical and psychological issues such as having a poor quality of life, a negative outlook on themselves, and having a negative relationship with work and the society. Moreover, they may also become obese and develop related conditions like type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, hyperlipidemia, joint problems, and gastroesophageal reflux disease. Being depressed, having bipolar disorder, anxiety, and substance abuse are also likely to occur in some cases. On the other hand, compulsive overeating may also be indicative of bulimia nervosa. Bulimia nervosa, or bulimia, is an unhealthy eating behavior where an individual binges in secret and purges afterwards in the pursuit of getting rid of the extra calories they just consumed. Purging is commonly done through emesis or self-inducing vomiting, but it can also look like misusing laxatives, diuretics, enemas, or weight loss supplements after binging. One may also try to get rid of the excess calories through excessive exercise, strict dieting, and fasting. Some signs and symptoms to look out for if you think you or one of your loved ones has bulimia are the following: being extremely conscious about your weight and having an excessively negative body image, constant fear of weight gain, frequent and repeated episodes of eating large meal portions in one sitting, feeling like you can't stop yourself from eating, self-inducing vomiting, and excessive exercising after binging to avoid gaining weight, misusing laxatives, diuretics, or enemas post meals, and excessive fasting and having strict and restricted diets after binges. As with people with BED, those who have bulimia may also experience critical health complications. These include difficulty with social relationships due to low self-esteem, dehydration due to excessive self-induced vomiting or misuse of medications such as laxative, cardiovascular complications, esophageal damage, severe tooth decay and gum disease, digestive problems, irregularity or even absence of periods in females, as well as digestive problems. They are also likely to develop anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, body dysmorphia, and in worse cases, they may also have suicidal thoughts and induce harm on themselves. People who have a binge eating disorder or bulimia nervosa are typically preoccupied with their weight and how their body looks. They usually criticize themselves harshly when they see their bodies, which makes it difficult to overcome because of how it's related to your self-image. This makes these disorders complicated to deal with and is something that should be taken seriously. No one can really pinpoint the exact reason for developing these disorders because a lot of factors can contribute to these, like biological factors, social expectations, and other psychological issues among others. Compulsive overeating can be hard to overcome, but despite this, you still can take measures in order to prevent and eventually solve the problem. First and foremost, seek professional help. Most of the time, people who eat compulsively have some deep-seated issues they're going through. Hence, the best course of action is to talk to a doctor. Letting a professional guide you will help you walk through your problems and psychological triggers. If you aren't deep in it yet, talking to a healthcare provider is still an excellent choice because they can help you identify early signs of eating disorders, helping you nip them in the bud and prevent its development. Number 2, pause. The next time you're about to walk to your fridge and grab a snack, ask yourself, am I really hungry? Take the time to listen to your body. Drink a glass or two of water and see how you feel. Maybe you're just thirsty, or give yourself 10 minutes before opening the fridge again. Be in touch with your body and see if you're really hungry or if you just want a snack because it's been on your habit for so long. Next on the list is to eat healthy. We know. We sound like a parent, but hear us out for a second. Maybe the reason why you're hungry all the time is because you've been eating unhealthy foods 24/7. During your next meal, evaluate the food you're going to eat. Does it have protein? Is it rich in fiber? Does it have healthy fats? Does it have carbohydrates? All these nutrients are essential that you can get from wholesome and healthy foods, which will keep you satiated for a longer period of time because your body takes longer to break down and process these kinds of foods as opposed to highly processed meals. Number 4, remind yourself that there's no such thing as bad food or good food. Food is food. It gives us sustenance, it gives us pleasure, and it's a great way to build connections and bond with friends and family. Just remember to take it easy and eat in moderation. You don't have to restrict yourself because that can only trigger you to overeat all over again. And lastly, talk to someone. Aside from your healthcare provider, find someone you can talk to whenever you feel like you're spiraling down. Whether that's a parent, a sibling, a teacher, or a friend, find someone you trust and you can have an open and honest discussion with so they can help and support you as you overcome your eating patterns. Before we end the video, we'd like to emphasize taking all of this with a grain of salt. We are by no means medical experts and our videos aren't meant to replace medical advice and are not meant to be used as a diagnostic tool. The best course of action is to consult with a licensed medical professional if you feel like you have an unhealthy relationship with food and your body to ensure you'll get the proper advice, diagnosis, and treatment that best suits you. All in all, compulsive overeating may be something born just out of habit, or it may also be indicative of more serious health issues which should not be taken lightly. So, if you find yourself in this position, take the time to be in tune with your body and see if you just need a bit of discipline in controlling yourself, or if you need to take an extra step and ask for professional assistance. If you've learned something new today, show us some love by hitting the like button, subscribe to our channel if you're new or if you haven't yet, and don't forget to turn on your post notifications so you won't miss any of our latest videos. Until next time.